After David's secret correspondence with Dora is discovered, he's banned from communicating with her by her father and his employer, Mr. Spenlow. But not to worry though, because, as if by magic, the very same day, he drops stone dead. How was Agnes able to give David renewed hope? After learning of Aunt Betsy's losses, David has to earn a living to support himself and his aunt. Agnes suggests that he could become Dr. Strong's secretary, which he duly does, assisting in compiling the great, but still unfinished, Dictionary of Greek Roots. On May the 25th, the hippopotamus Obeish arrived from Egypt at London Zoo. It was the very first hippo to be seen in Europe since prehistoric times. Obeish proved an enormous popular attraction, doubling visitor numbers to the zoo that year, giving rise to a range of memorabilia and even inspiring a highly unlikely new dance, the hippopotamus polka. With Copperfield now flowing almost effortlessly from Dickens's pen, he could turn his attention to other projects. These included the launching of another magazine, The Household Narrative of Current Events, a monthly digest of the world's news at just twopence a month. Compare this with a subscription to The Times, which cost sixpence per day, and we can see how Dickens was doing his best to democratise access to information. The theme of emigration, which will feature so prominently at the end of Copperfield, was also on his mind. He wrote to the nautical novelist W.H.G. Kingston, who just published a practical work entitled How to Emigrate, rejecting a poem on the same theme, as he'd already accepted 2 articles on emigration for this month's issues of Household Words. What was the well-dressed Victorian child wearing in 1850? Well, according to this advert for Shearman's of Finsbury Pavement, London, a wide selection of frocks, coats and pelisses, not forgetting mantles, paltots, cloaks, jackets and spencers. 4 of those named garments are likely to be unknown to modern readers, but they all refer to upper body or full body coverings. To give you an idea of how overdressed the typical mid-Victorian little girl was, take a look at these details from William Powell Frith's panoramic painting Ramsgate Sands. No chance of catching a suntan in those outfits. The amusingly alliterative Tommy Traddles, mimicking the Peregrine Pickle and Roderick Random of Dickens's childhood reading, is clearly an amusing character, with his permanently startled shock of hair. He proves, however, to be David's most loyal as well as his oldest friend, and this is inscribed in his name, as Traddles straddles the worlds of childhood, youth and maturity. In his effort to master shorthand, David gets Traddles to deliver old parliamentary speeches in his chambers to the audience of Aunt Betsy and Mr. Dick, as he struggles to take down dictation in note form. I should like to see such a parliament anywhere else. My aunt and Mr. Dick represented the government, or the opposition, as the case might be, and Traddles, with the assistance of Enfield's Speaker, or a volume of parliamentary orations, thundered astonishing invectives against them. Standing by the table, with his finger in the page to keep the place, and his right arm flourishing above his head, Traddles would work himself into the most violent heats and deliver the most withering denunciations of the profligacy and corruption of my aunt and Mr. Dick, while I used to sit at a little distance with my notebook on my knee, fagging after him with all my might and main. In this atmospheric image, David has an intimate discussion with Mr. Peggotty about his quest for Emily, whilst, barely perceptible in the doorway and unseen by Dan Peggotty, the ghostly figure of Martha Endell briefly appears. How carefully have you been reading? What do you remember? Test yourself. There are 3 characters in the novel with the initials J.M. Who are they? Oh, just musing. Till next time then.